story of the incredible machines inside you. And today, we're going deep inside the gut to find out how your small intestine transforms everything you eat into every part of you. But first, feast your eyes on the main attraction. Opening scene, mysterious introduction. A beautifully plated meal of fresh berries, juicy peach, grilled chicken, green peas, fluffy bread, and golden olive oil sits in front of a young woman. She picks up her fork and brings the food to her mouth, savoring the taste with eyes closed. The camera slows down time and goes in super close for a front row seat. Her teeth grind and crush the food. We zoom in further, entering her mouth, swirling around the tasty morsels and flying right through her throat. Whoosh, the food disappears into her body. Narrator deep, cinematic voice. Every bite you take starts an epic journey, a quest for nutrients across treacherous terrain. And while your mouth kick starts the mission, the real magic happens in a hidden, winding factory, your small intestine. Act 1. The descent into the unknown. As the camera descends into the unknown, we reach the bottom of the esophagus and find ourselves in a dark, foggy chamber. Suddenly, the stomach acid starts churning, propelling us further along. We pass through the pyloric sphincter and enter the first section of the small intestine, the duodenum. Here, towering bile ducts glow like underground lava rivers, bursting with golden bile from the liver. They mix with a glowing blue liquid as pancreatic enzymes arrive on the scene. Together, they'll break down the fats and carbs brought in by the river of food. Moments later, we're pushed through the semi-permeable membrane and into the intestinal lumen. All around us, thousands of finger-like villi are folded inward, creating an alien forest that can't be seen without a microscope. When fully expanded, these little guys nearly double the surface area of the small intestine. And when viewed under an electron microscope, something else is revealed. Each villus is covered with even smaller microvilli that shimmer like a field of gold in the sunlight. Together, these tiny structures act like millions of little mouths, ready to devour the nutrients in our food. As we continue exploring this magical place, the forest suddenly comes alive. Villi open their mouths and start slurping up the digested acids and bases. Seconds later, we're back in the cozy darkness of the digestive tract, floating alongside countless white blood cells. These little guys are making one last stand against any remaining bacteria. Next, we pass through another sphincter and arrive at our final destination, the jejunum. With over 70% of the digestion done, it's time for the grand finale. Narrator. Here, armies of enzymes wage war on your food, breaking it down into its tiniest parts. And when the feasting is done, tiny soldiers called villi stand ready to absorb the spoils. Act 2, the absorption war. It's time for a battlefield sequence. And as the camera pans across the scene, we see the remnants of the earlier feast, now digested and in their basic molecular forms. First, we see a battalion of enzymes attacking large fat globules. As they break apart, each fatty acid molecule is tagged with a protein before being enveloped by a cluster of 3 fatty acids and a protein. Meanwhile, other enzymes work on the remaining carbohydrates, splitting starches into chains of sugar molecules, which are quickly broken down into individual glucose units. Then there are the proteins, already dissolved and drifting toward the waiting villi. As the camera zooms in, we see that each villus has hundreds of tiny mouths, each containing different receptors that recognize and bind to specific molecules. First, the fats make their way into the core of the cell, where they're repackaged into new bundles of 3 coated with proteins. From there, they're shuttled into nearby lymphatic vessels known as lacteals, where they travel like an underground pipeline. But before long, they'll be released into the bloodstream. Suddenly, the glucose molecules come charging into view. Glowing like tiny energy orbs, they're so small that only a handful could fit on the tip of a finger. One by one, the sugar molecules are pulled into the blood vessels where they're distributed throughout the body. But this is no easy task. Each glucose molecule must be tagged with a special transporter protein that carries it across the cell membrane. Some proteins work like swinging ropes, ferrying their cargo across with each swing, while others use a conveyor belt mechanism to shuttle multiple molecules at once. Meanwhile, the amino acids have formed a shining diamond-shaped flotilla. As they drift past the waiting villi, each amino acid is linked with an appropriate transport protein and whisked away into the surrounding capillaries. But this, too, is just the beginning. Soon, these vital molecules will be used to build muscle, strengthen bones, and make important hormones. Narrator urgent. This is where your food becomes you. Every nutrient stolen, every drop of water claimed. Without this, you'd starve in the middle of a feast. Act 3, the grand finale. Back in the Jejunum, the once murky waters have become crystalline clear. The forest of villi shimmers in the light, now that most of the nutrients have been absorbed. As the food continues its journey through the ileum, the final section of the small intestine, the camera focuses on the enormous length of the small intestine, nearly 23 feet of coiled tunnels pulsing with movement. It's amazing to think that this entire epic journey takes just 3 to 6 hours. At the end of the line, the food passes through the ileocecal valve and enters the colon. Here, the leftover waste is hauled away like trash from a factory, leaving behind the treasures won in the battle of digestion. Now it's time for one last marvel as the camera flies out of the body, taking the shape of a glowing orb, leaving us with a powerful message. Narrator awestruck. In 3 to 6 hours, your small intestine does what science still can't replicate. It turns pizza into power, salad into skin, and water into life. We hope you enjoyed learning about the fascinating world of the human body. If so, please subscribe for more updates, and don't forget to hit the like button for more exciting videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.